Hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with a passed out Joe Boo. Um, I don't even know what to say anymore. We keep doing the same thing. You know, forgive me for a minute. Okay, you win as a team and you lose as a team. We had mistakes that cost us. Clearly Terrence Williams, you know, bobble pass catch, clearly gave them a touchdown to score. Your defense played well at times. You know, we got 3 sacks. We beat Aaron Rodgers up. You know, we knocked players left and right out. Zeke Elliott finally got going in the second half. Dak Prescott, you know, 3 touchdown passes, one rushing touchdown. You played well enough to win. You did what you're supposed to do to win. What a coach's job is, a coach isn't out there to play the game. The coach's job is to put you in positions to win. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There's people I've been saying, you guys know in the offseason, I kept saying that Jason Garrett needed to go. The same thing I have been saying for a long time, back to the 8-8. Whenever we get into crunch time, we always seem to make mistakes. And for people out there who will still say, some of you guys are like Romo defenders. Okay? When you mess up, you mess up. And Jason Garrett, I'm sorry, messed up. And of course, they'll say, oh, well, Jason Garrett doesn't call the plays. I'm sick and tired of the head coach not taking responsibility because the head coach's job is to be where the buck stops, to protect your players. But too many times I've seen Jason Garrett throw his players under the bus. And when he puts blame on them, fine. Okay, sometimes they do screw up. Sometimes it is a missed tackle by someone. Maybe it is a bonehead call by a player. You make them own up to what they did. Yet you never own up to what you do. How the hell do you score leaving time on the clock and Aaron Rodgers with the first down, knowing that every freaking time you play Aaron Rodgers, he comes back if he's any time on the clock to beat you? You're telling me you can't remember the playoffs where you went through and the first play you spiked the ball, leaving 39 seconds. The second play you throw a 5-yard out to Cole Beasley, stopping the clock, and then you throw the ball again and it's incomplete, and literally you only take 11 seconds off the clock, leaving enough time for Aaron Rodgers to go downfield, get a field goal, kick, and win? You don't remember that? You don't say in the first thing, if we get into a position where we have a game-winning drive, we do not leave time on the clock. That, my friends, coaching for dummies. I've sent this book to Jason Garrett. Apparently, he hasn't read it. Coaching 101. Run the damn ball, run out the clock, score the winning drive. Don't leave any time for the opposition. Damn. Why are you passing down there in the red zone when you got Zeke Elliott running the ball the way he is? That one play, that one call, because some of you are going to say, oh, well, you know, they scored the touchdown, they went ahead, it's on the defense. It's on the defense to hold them. Okay, yeah, but you're talking about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, who makes miracles not only against the Cowboys, but everybody in the freaking NFL. You score and you don't leave any time on the clock. You run the ball and let the clock run. And for those of you who want to say that it's not Jason Garrett's fault, think about this. When you threw the incomplete pass, you literally took off 6 seconds of the clock. If you had run the ball, you would either have forced him to take their last time out, or you could have run off about 40 seconds off the clock and then thrown it into the end zone for a touchdown if you had to. Yeah, I see. You want to blame Terrence Williams? He's part of the fault too. The defense couldn't stop him, couldn't keep the pressure on late in the second half. I get those. But here's the thing. All those things are going to happen in a game. Those are things that happen because shit happens sometimes. Sometimes you're not in a position to catch the ball right. Sometimes it's an off pass. Those things I get. But play calling. You come out in the second half, you're flat. Completely flat. You let Aaron frickin' Rodgers go right down the field and score. You finally get it going, finally get Zeke Elliott starts running better than he's been running. But Jason Garrett, this one is on you. We have the bye week. Jerry Jones. Jerry. I don't know what Jason Garrett has on you. I'm trying to understand how it is. We had Jimmy Johnson coming off of his second Super Bowl win, and we couldn't get along with that guy. Yet, we have lived through, God, 8 years where it's a win and we're in the playoffs only to have it ripped out of our guts. We have had 2 number 1 seeded teams lose in the first round. I'm sorry, I can't point to a single game and say Jason Garrett won that game for us. I cannot point to something and say that is Jason Garrett's stamp on it and why this team is there. Yeah, Jason Garrett, he's about getting good guys. But here's the thing. Things about Jason Garrett that truly bugged the shit out of me. Greg Hardy was a mistake. We all had hoped that his talent, getting a second chance, would have been a life-changing thing for him, but he was just an idiot. I get that. But every time there's a sign of problems, Jason Garrett goes the other way. Whenever there's a controversy, Jason Garrett has no comment on it. Every time the Cowboys lose, and I guarantee you, when we see the press conference, and I can't wait to see the Jason Garrett press conference, because he's going to say, we competed out there, we'll look at the film and things, and we'll work on some stuff, and yada, yada, yada. And he'll go back and say, well, Terrence Williams had that, that bad catch, and that went for a touchdown, and that's why he lost. He'll throw that guy under the bus. But he won't own up to, you know what, I made a mistake. And I probably would say, okay, you know what, Jason Garrett, I'm cool that you owned up to the fact that you screwed it up. But you won't ever own up to it. That is part of the problem. And I don't know if it's because Jerry Jones has you, as basically a puppet. If it is, then this is on you then too, Jerry. If you're not allowing him to coach the way he wants to coach and run the team the way he wants to, then that's also on you then. Then you need to change. But I'm tired of sitting here year after year seeing the same things over and over again. We are literally running our head into a brick wall over and over and over again, expecting another result. I know our secondary needs work. I know that Jalen Smith, as great as the story is a liability. Okay? Sean Lee is truly missed on the defense. Okay? I get those things. I understand those things. But even with those deficits, Jason Garrett pissed down his leg again. There's no other way to call it. Jason Garrett, or whoever is calling the plays, did the same thing again. We keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. You finally got Zeke Elliott going. You had the ball for almost 10 minutes in that drive. All you had to do was score and not leave any time on the clock. You don't pass the ball into the end zone. Daniel, don't tell me to chill. We know your season's over. We know Odell broke his leg, broke his fibula. We know Brandon Marshall messed up his ankle. We know Sterling Shepard. We know Eli Manning is a turnover machine. Maybe you should be going off. For once, I saw the team come out here with fire. I finally saw some good things happening on the field. We had mistakes, but guys were flying to the ball. They had energy. But I swear, Jason Garrett sucks the life out of it. I'm with you, Yo Bully. I am so pissed. I'm going to make sure we can show that response. Guys, I live, breathe, and die with the Dallas Cowboys. Literally. And this is killing me. Sitting here watching this game, seeing our guys clicking on all cylinders, seeing the defense coming out and doing well. And in my mind, as we went into halftime, it was like, are they going to adjust at halftime, or are they just going to assume that everything they did was hunky-dory and just keep up with the same plan? I didn't want to say that, but in the back of my mind, that's what I was thinking. You know, last year I had a totally different feeling because, not to bring Tony Romo in this, but before last year, with Tony Romo, when he would go back for a pass, I always had a fear of three things were going to happen. Tony was going to make an incredible pass, touchdown play, win the game. Tony Romo was going to get hurt. Or Tony Romo was going to do a Tony, oh no. And in the back of my mind, every game, I would always think, how are we going to lose this game? Because we would always come up with ways to lose games like nobody else. It would be, oh, Lordy. Tommy freaking Eagle is trying to call. Do I even want to try and take this? Oh, Lordy. Tommy, I don't even have the computer set up for it. 8723. Oh, Lordy. Hold on, Tommy. Oh, boy. How many of you guys are sick? Tommy, try and call back on the... Hold it. Let me get the other computer set up, Tommy. I'm going to take my medicine. I am going to listen to Tommy freaking Eagle. Because you know what? We deserve it. We deserve to be the laughing stock. We deserve to hear all of the shit that we get. I'm okay with that right now because we deserve it. We deserve to hear that our team that was 13-3 literally can't do crap. We deserve to be a joke. I got no problem with that. Tommy, oh Lord, he's got the cigarette.
Hold on. I haven't been able to listen to your show yet, but if you aren't complaining about your Jason Garrett losing another game for you, then you just don't know much about football.
Oh, Lord.
He's been killing you guys for years now.
Listen, okay. Guys, this is a happy Eagle fan, Tom Donnelly, better known as the moron. And quite frankly, I want to take all the abuse that he can give me because there's nothing I can say. I can't defend Jason Garrett. And you guys know I said for years, fire Jason Garrett. I said after last year when they was chose to the year, I said we did not win because of Jason Garrett. We won in spite of Jason Garrett. I said he needed to go with Wade Phillips. And people keep saying, give him another year. You know, he'll get it. He's learning on the job. He's a great coach. F that. Tommy.
What happened at halftime of your games?
Every time. There's no adjustments.
I asked my wife if they had a turkey dinner at halftime. I just don't get it. They come out completely different team than what they were in the first half. And that calling out pass play on second down before they scored was the game.
45. They could have chosen 45 seconds off the fucking clock just on that one and taken their time scoring. How do you leave Aaron Rodgers 59 seconds and a timeout left? That's coaching.
He does that to every team. He does. That was a tough loss. You guys should have won that game.
Tommy, you know, I'm so disgusted.
I can only imagine.
But it's not, and people, let's just not even talk about the playoff record alone, okay? Because we screwed up at Green Bay twice, you know, letting Aaron Rodgers do this. But look at the 8-8 years when we played against you guys, against the Redskins, against the Giants. Every year, it's always some game that should be a coach's defining moment, and yet he pisses down his leg every time. At the beginning of the season, I kept saying, I don't like Jason Garrett. I said, but he's our coach. He's all we've got. I got to throw our support behind him and pray that he finally gets it. Look, Tommy even got tired of listening to me. There you are. Tommy, help me out. Make me feel better. Somehow, walk me off the cliff, buddy.
You had a nice 10-minute drive to score.
If it had only been 59 seconds more, it could be worse. Tell me how it could be. Oh, we could be the Giants. That's about how it could be worse.
Listen, if there's any Redskins fans on here talking any shit, you aren't that good, okay? I'm not just going to find you. You guys are going to be fighting for the basement, too, by the end of the season. You guys aren't out of this.
No, we're not out of it, but you know what? As long as we got Jason Garrett, we're never going to go anywhere. He just doesn't have it in him. He's like North Turner.
Doesn't the press drill him after games like this? Saying, why did you call a pass play there?
You know, what's funny is Jason Garrett doesn't own up to anything. Jason Garrett really just won't say crap. He'll throw his players under the bus before anything else. And I guarantee you he's going to talk about Terrence Williams having that muff pass that went in for a touchdown. He will throw him under the bus, and he won't accept responsibility about leaving time on the clock. He'll say, we'll go back and look at the film, we'll reevaluate it, and we'll do this, that. He will never own up to the fact that he pissed down his leg again.
He did. From my point of view, he cost you the game today. He's cost you several games that I can't recount right now, but I said there are many times, man, he just lost you another game.
Every time we play Green Bay, he cost us. Well, hats off to you guys. You guys are better than what I said. And I'm eating crow here, okay? I am literally, okay, putting my hand out because you guys are actually balling out. Carson Wentz in that first half, 3 touchdown passes, looked freaking fantastic. Your offense is going well, although Lane Johnson did get a concussion. I know that's going to be tough for you getting him back on the field this week.
I know that.
Oh, yeah, Lane Johnson, he's in the concussion protocol. He got a concussion. So that's going to hurt. That's the only thing that's going to slow you guys down is injuries. You do have a lot of guys that are kind of getting banged up and stuff, and that's going to be hard going down the season.
Fletcher Cox comes back next week, and we get Darby back in about 3 weeks. Carson Wentz was 10 of 11 on third downs today for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns.
But listen,
He's really starting
okay.
to look good.
Now I know you don't think that Dak Prescott is a good quarterback, but Dak Prescott in the first half was 146 QBR, 3 freaking touchdown passes, and he rushed for 1. I mean, holy! What more do you ask for a quarterback?
Mark, calm your tits. Listen, I didn't say he wasn't a good quarterback. All right. It's just that some of your fans had him in the Hall of Fame last year. Okay, I just said he's not that quarterback yet. I never said he was bad, and today he was good, except for the pick 6. But he was good.
The pick 6 wasn't on him. Terrence Williams, it bounced off the guy's hands. I mean, it was a little behind, but it went off the guy's hands, and the guy made a great play on it. I mean,
Listen, man.
It hurts, man.
Guys,
I just want to know, any of you out there? I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's hard going to the bye like this. But the good thing is, you can watch the Eagles play next week. We're going to beat Cam Newton up. All right? So, listen. Giants, FU, Redskins, they're still garbage. Cowboys, 17, the division decided on that day.
Okay. All right. On that one, congratulations now, my man. Take it easy. I'm going to go ahead, and I'm just going to go ahead and try and get my pound of flesh now because I am pissed off, and I have a new campaign, and that is to get Jason Garrett. I will not rest until that man is fired from the Dallas Cowboys. I'm sick and tired of this crap, and I want to know if there's one of you out there that thinks that Jason Garrett should keep his job. Just one of you. Because if you do, I will find you. I will hunt you down.
Listen, I'll call you tomorrow night if you cool off that time.
All right, Tommy. Thanks for calling in. Congratulations. Jeez. Okay, at least that Eagle fan is a little realistic and didn't sulk and make me feel worse than I already do. But I'm telling you, let me look at some of your responses. I'm sorry, I've just been going off, and the responses are just going like crazy. But who out there thinks that Jason Garrett is a good coach? Are you convinced that what I've been saying all along about Jason Garrett is now true? And by the way, this is not a Jason Garrett jersey. It is not a Jason Garrett jersey. Okay? I have nothing in here of Jason Garrett. I got stuff autographed by Tony Romo. I got pictures with Jerry Jones. I got all kinds of memorabilia. Had the opportunity to get one from Jason Garrett, but I refused to have that done because I know he is not the guy. This is a Cowboy Joe Boo jersey, not Jason Garrett. Garrett, good coach. Crickets, you're right. Not me any longer. Jared loves his puppet. Well, you know what? I'm going to say this. The way Jerry Jones praised Wade Phillips last week was the first time that you never heard Jerry say something good about Jason Garrett. Usually, after a loss, he'll say, well, we got faith in Jason Garrett. It was just a tough loss. And all. He went out of his way to make sure he praised Wade Phillips. You got to think, Billy, thank you. I think you've done a couple super chats here. I'm sorry. I've been missing it. I appreciate all of those. And I try and be optimistic. You guys know I'm optimistic. I always try and look at the bright side of things. But I got to tell you, as long as we have Jason Garrett, it's hard to be optimistic. With the schedule that we have this season, with his lack of creativity, with his lack of halftime adjustments, Jason Garrett, let me say this. DJ Crown J, thank you very much for the super chat. If you do a super chat, be sure to ask a question or have a comment so I can make sure I can read them out to you. I appreciate that. I would go ahead and hit the "How about them Cowboys" button, but it's not the time to do that. Okay, it is not the time to do that. We keep doing the same thing over and over again, and it's just driving me nuts. I try and be positive. I try and give you something to hope for. I said, I thought we changed our mojo. I'm not putting this on Tony Romo, but for whatever reason, you have some guys that never, ever can get it. You have Marty Schottenheimer. You can't tell me that Marty Schottenheimer couldn't coach. He would get the most out of guys, but for whatever reason, he couldn't win the playoff games. He couldn't. He knows football. Great guy. Players followed him to the ends of the earth, but for whatever reason, if the football guys just didn't like him, or he pissed off one of the football, I don't know what it was, but for whatever reason, he was never going to do that. Do you get it? I had the feeling with Tony Romo, as much as I didn't want to say that, but it's kind of like there's always something that's going to happen, an injury, a crazy play, or some stupid coaching, something. It's always something that's going to prevent it from happening. And yet, I feel that same thing with Jason Garrett. Anytime we get into a game and you start feeling good, it's like that's the time to worry because somehow, some way, oh my God. Did I just quote Stephen A. Smith? Please tell me it hasn't gotten that bad. Please tell me it hasn't gotten that bad. Jason Garrett is the accident waiting to happen. Stephen A. Smith, you need to take Tony Romo off of that hit and put Jason Garrett. Because Jason Garrett is the black cat that's rolling around that franchise. How long are we supposed to endure this, guys? How many years? We aren't the Giants. We still need better coaches. Jerry Jones won't fire him. I think he's got something. He's got to have something on Jerry Jones. We will have him for the rest of the year. You know what? I'm going to say something that I can't believe I'm going to say. I am going to say the last thing I would ever want to do. At this point, I almost think the best thing that could happen is we just look screwed up the rest of the season. That we just have another 4-12 season. That things get so bad, so awful, that Jerry Jones has no other recourse but to get rid of Jason Garrett. It's to that point right now with me that even if the Cowboys come through, they win some games, get into the playoffs, we ain't going anywhere. Not with that guy as the head coach. Or, I don't know, is he really a coach? I know every time I've gone to a game and watched pregame, I've been on the sidelines, I see him out there on the field warming up with the rest of the guys. I know when I see all these shots from training camp, he's out there having throwing competitions with like Dak Prescott or Tony Romo. Hey, let's see if we can get the ball in the tire. How about reading the freaking game plan and start thinking about ways that other teams can beat us and way I should coach against it so we don't lose? Instead of throwing the damn football out with the guys. He is the only coach I have ever seen out warming up on the field throwing footballs with his players. I never saw Tom Landry do that. I never saw Jimmy Johnson do that. I've certainly never seen Bill Belichick do that. We need some kind of petition going. You know, we can start all kinds of petitions to fire everybody, but bottom line is it's Jerry Jones' call. Oh, wait. Hold on. We've got the whole... I'm going to back this up and turn it up. We've got Jason Garrett's press conference going on.
I need to see this. I need to see this. I need to hear this. The man that needs to be fired. How can you have a smile on your face after that loss?
And I'm saying, I got this, guys. Don't worry about a thing. Minute 13 left.
I hope you guys can hear this.
31-28, but like you said. And A-Ron to Devontae Adams over Jordan Lewis. That's a 12-yard touchdown. Packers, they wanted to get the win. Yeah, look at the name on the back. Packers win 35-31. Jason Garrett speaking after the L.
Yeah, obviously what you're trying to do there is you're trying to get stops on defense. And he's obviously a really, really good football player. And he can beat you with his arm, he can beat you with his legs. A big point of emphasis for us coming into this ball game. Obviously, was trying to keep him in the pocket as much as we could. At different times in this ball game, we were able to do that. But on that particular play, he got out. And that gave them an opportunity to shoot for the end zone. Got them out of the mentality of simply kicking a field goal and got them in that mentality of trying to score a touchdown to win the game.
Did you hear that? I turned up the TV. I don't know how well it was, but here's the thing. He didn't mention us scoring and leaving time on the clock. He said what you want to do is stop the guy. He's a good quarterback from scoring. We made some plays, but we didn't stop him. You know what, you idiot? It shouldn't have been that he had an opportunity. You gave him the chance to beat you. You don't even talk about it. You should have said, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't have scored so soon. Maybe we screwed up by leaving time on the clock for him. But this is my problem with Jason Garrett. He's going to blame the defense. He's going to blame the defense. Well, you know, we hope to make some stops there and things, but the defense couldn't do it. No. Own up to your own shit. And he doesn't do it. He's like the Teflon Don. Hey, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Hey, look, it's that guy over there. That's Jason Garrett. It's always a reason. And we've got to get beyond all of this crap with Jason Garrett doing the same thing. If you think that it's going to change, it's not. If other teams can fire a coach that have gone to the Super Bowl and lost, why is it we can't fire him? Thank you. Look at the Rams. Rams out there kicking people's butt with a rookie coach that's only 31, 33 years old? Okay, but wait. Let me say it again. You took a 4-12 Ram team and basically the same players. You took a quarterback who looked like a complete bum. You put a rookie 31-year-old coach on the team, and they've already won as many games this year as they did last year, taking over for a veteran coach. The Buffalo Bills, same scenario. Yet, we still have Jason Garrett who's got us stuck in the mud, who is making brain fart after brain fart in coaching decisions. And if he's not the one that's calling them, then whoever is needs to go along with him and bring somebody in. Listen, you need a coach who keeps people responsible for their mistakes. Thank you very much. I am a stranger danger for subbing the show. Unfortunately, this is not the season that I hoped it was going to be. I thought we were going to be having a great time this season, but I think this channel has now turned into let's get rid of Jason Garrett. You know, I've heard so many people that have been talking about Dak Prescott, you know, he's the reason why we lost and everything else. You know, guys, you got a quarterback who's a baller. Some of you may not want to think that it is. The man stands up there is a 100% everything on the field guy. The moves and hits that he takes, you know, when he got bent over, you know, the same thing that happened to Tony Romo and Derek Carr and they were breaking bones in their back, he pops right back up for him. He has guys literally on his back that he is strong enough, like a linebacker, to throw them off and has the wherewithal to keep his eyes downfield and making it strike. You have a guy who people will follow. He can take the team and put them on his back. You have great offensive linemen. And with Tyron Smith is getting to the point where he's got chronic back problems. Those things don't necessarily get better. They keep flaring up on and on and on. He had some last year. He had it in training camp. He's having it now. You don't know how many good years you've got left of a guy like that. Des Bryant, same thing. But we keep wasting players. Tony Romo's career, it's a travesty that he did not win a Super Bowl. But I put that on Jason Garrett as well, because it wasn't like we didn't have teams that were in a position. When you are the number one seed in the NFL, you were basically 2 games away from the Super Bowl. And when we didn't have good teams, you let him get the hell beat out of him, and he was the only reason why you won. Now, people say I'm a Tony Romo hater. No. But I knew that we were at the point with Tony Romo that Tony Romo's body was failing him to the point where he wouldn't be able to do it. And right now, quite frankly, with Jason Garrett as coach, I'm not sure anybody can do it. We need a guy who will get out there, motivate people, hold people responsible, and give us something different. We become too predictable. Teams can easily game plan against us. And then, to make it worse, we can't coach our way out of it. We can't adjust. We've been doing the same thing year after year after year after year. Everybody knows what we're going to do. I say John Gruden. I know he's been out of coaching for a while, but he's there watching game film every week because of Monday Night Football, so he's seeing all the teams. Believe me, they study to go ahead and be able to call a game. John Gruden is not a team builder guy. But you have the pieces here to be a good team. And don't let anybody tell you we don't. When you have 3 all-pro offensive linemen, when you have a good quarterback, okay, when you have a stud running back, you should be able to put that stuff together. A lot of coaches would be licking their chops to have what the Cowboys have. Yes, our secondary is young and it's been injured. But you can't tell me that Jordan Lewis isn't going to be a baller. Okay? You can't tell me that Xavier Lays the Wood is not going to be a guy who's going to be a stud. You have pieces that are okay. But what you have to do as a coach is you have to realize, here's my strong point. Here's what I can do to help cover up that. We don't seem to be able to do that at all. We'll play good in stretches. We'll have some good games. But in the end, it all goes out the window. And yes, to me, that was a very, very painful loss. And I have tried to be a team player. I have been Mr. Positive. I have been the guy who says, you know what? I hope that Jason Garrett gets it. I hope that Jason Garrett will be able to motivate the guys. I hope that Jason Garrett won't have brain farts. But I'm done hoping. I think it's hopeless. I'm doing the same thing that we've all been doing, hoping that Jason Garrett is going to be the reason that we can make it all the way. But we're just running our head against the wall over and over and over again. So at this point, maybe it just ends up being a bad season. We get rid of him. We get another coach. And having 10 picks, think of this. With 10 picks, let's say we draft in the top 10. Basically, your second round pick is almost a first round pick as well. Your third round pick is almost a second round pick. With 10 picks, you can pick up a hell of a lot of guys. You got cap room. You get the right coach in here with some cap room to get a couple pieces, you know. You draft well again. All of a sudden, maybe then you have the dynasty. So maybe you have to hit rock bottom before you can get better. And maybe that's what we need to do. We hit rock bottom 2 years ago. We got Dak Prescott, we got Zeke Elliott, and we had a great season. So maybe we hit rock bottom this year and we go balls to the wall next year. I'm not saying the season's over, but at this point, you got to put it in doubt. We've got some really tough games coming up. I mean, we've got the 49ers after the bye. We can win that one. We've got the Redskins, but then after that, the schedule gets brutal. Kush Daddy 11. That's exactly what I'm saying. 2014 should have been a Super Bowl year. Tyron Smith was young, when Travis Frederick was young, when Des Bryant was young. You had Tony Romo playing the best season of his career. That should have been a Super Bowl year. And for those that say that Jason Garrett is such a great coach, I'm sorry. The next year without Tony Romo, you won 4 games total, and only one without Tony Romo. And that one game that we won without Tony Romo, it took the Redskins, Deshaun Jackson, running backwards on a punt return late in the game, fumbling on the 5-yard line so we could kick a field goal. We're talking about a guy who had 11 games with backup quarterbacks and could only win 1. But he got a pass. How is that? How is it you had Brandon Wheaton for a year and a half, but you couldn't get that guy to win a game? But he went to Texans, practiced for a week and a half, got thrown in the second half of the game, won that game, and then came back the next week and started and won his first game that he started. But yet you had him, you couldn't do anything with him. That's coaching. I would love to have a Sean Payton. Sean Payton still has family and stuff in Dallas, and New Orleans is at the point where they're going to start over. Because here's what happens. As Bill Parcells says, after 5 years, coaches get stale. You have to make change for change's sake to stir things up. Sometimes you have a players coach that's real nice with the players and stuff like that. So that works out really good for a while, but then the team gets stagnant. Then you need an authoritarian coach that puts a foot in their ass to stir things up. Jerry Jones likes to stir things up, except with Jason Garrett. And I can't understand that. Your quarterback just threw 3 touchdowns, rushed for a touchdown. And let me look at the final stats here.
Even though he shouldn't have, right?
Zeke Elliott, my God. He was over 100 for the first time this season. Statistically, but here's the thing. In football, you want to be running the ball well in the second half because that's how you grind out the clock. DJ Crown, thank you for the super chat. Right. 2nd and 1, you throw into the end zone. That is when you say, you know what? 2nd and 1, run the ball, pick up the first down, let the clock start ticking down. Let's let some of that time go. That's the kind of stuff that you get with Jason Garrett. When the game's on the line, pass the ball. And it's unfreaking real. I don't know about Rex Ryan. That's another dumpster fire. I wouldn't even want close to us. I'd like to see Bill Collier. I'd love to see Sean Payton. I'd love to see John Gruden. And John Gruden has kind of made some hints that he's about ready to get back into it. And I dare say that a lot of guys wouldn't want to work under Jerry Jones, but John Gruden did work under, Al Davis. And when you look at having a quarterback like that, you look at having an offensive line, you're looking at having a ready-built team. I don't have to go out there and try and start from scratch. All I got to do is take the talent that's there and get them to go up on another level. That's what you're looking at. So that's where it becomes, you know what? Yeah, maybe I can go ahead and deal with Jerry so I can go ahead and get me a ring real quick.
Amen.
And the Tampa 2 defense, I'm sorry, it's kind of like we're doing the flex defense now. I think it's time to upgrade on that as well. Rod Martinelli gets the most out of players. He's taken average players and made them into really good pass rushers. But sorry, we're failing when it counts the most. Dak Prescott, 25 out of 36, 251 yards, 3 touchdowns. Zeke Elliott, 29 rushes, 116 yards. Jalen was slow. Oh, DJ Crown, don't even get me started on Jalen Smith. But listen, Aaron Rodgers only had 221 yards. Aaron Rodgers only had 220. Dak Prescott outplayed Aaron Rodgers, but we lost. At home. And Jalen Smith, I made a point about that earlier this week. He's making tackles. Don't get me wrong. He's making tackles because he basically has to wait on the tackles. There was one play where he tried to fill the hole. He got there. The guy made a cut, and he can't push off. He can't push off to fill the hole. And instead of attacking the hole, basically he's in a defensive posture waiting for the guy to come. And if the guy can make a big move, he's gone past him. And another play that I know Sean Lee would have been able to get up in there and get the guy, he's running into the hole, and he's going down the line. And he's slow going down the line, and he can't shed the block because there's not enough leg strength to be able to push off and have enough balance with it. And so he's done an admirable job. And don't get me wrong, because he has. But he's still really only playing on one leg. And he's been thrown into a spotlight as a rookie because out of necessity. So we're going to need to get another linebacker next year as well to go in there, to go with the guys that we have. Sean Lee, love him. But Sean Lee is beginning to get up there in age, and it's he's still having the hamstring problems and things. And you can see the difference in the defense without Sean Lee. But you've got to have people that are ready. The next man up, as Jason Garrett always tries to preach. Oh, God. Billy, you're right, Billy. We gave up 30 points a game. Can't win too many like that. Cole Beasley was lights out. I mean, Cole Beasley, best game he's had all season. Taco, give him some time. And here's the thing, guys. Not everybody you draft is going to be perfect. You're going to have some hits and misses. Last year, we hit on more than our share of players. You're not supposed to get a franchise quarterback in the 4th round, a franchise running back, a cornerback, a pass rusher, a linebacker. We got an embarrassment of riches last year in the draft. Maybe it's the universe balancing itself out that this year may not be. Maybe Taco won't be the guy. But you made up for it in last year's draft. Or maybe he just needs a little time. TJ Watt started off real fast, but I'm not sure that TJ Watt has been all that great since. Let me look. TJ Watt. Let me look TJ up and see what his stats are right now. But TJ started out really good, but I think he's come back down to earth. I think he had a groin strain there for a while. I think he's been injured. So TJ Watt stats so far. TJ hasn't actually lit the world on fire. I mean, the first game he had the 2 sacks, but he only has 10 sacks. He has 10 tackles and 2 sacks. You can say that, we should have drafted that guy. Well, okay, he got 2 sacks and 10 tackles. It's not exactly, Reggie White. And he's been thrust into the limelight a lot quicker than what Taco was. I'm okay with the pass rush that we've had. The problem with our pass rush was, and I've said this before, is you have to have lane discipline. And by that I mean, you can have one great pass rusher, like on the edge, but if you don't keep it balanced and you give the quarterback a place to roam, then you're still going to be screwed. What we were able to do a couple times, and Aaron Rodgers stepped up one time, and it was perfect because you had outside rush coming in really good. You had a good right side rush, but there was a hole in the middle. He steps up, everything's behind him. Now he's got a clear vision of the field, and it's going to hit you. You have to pass rush and not give him a lane. You've got to get the pressure on the outside, and you've got to get it up the middle. If you don't, quarterback's going to be able to gain time and be able to find somebody. And if you give any quarterback time out there, they're going to beat you. Now, I will say that we put pressure on him. We got 3 sacks on the guy, although he's been getting sacked left and right by other teams. We had some brain farts in the secondary because part of that's because we got young guys. Part of that I still say is, Jalen Smith is not helping. You've got Anthony Hitchens who just came back. So there's a lot of problems that we have that are there on the defense and a lot of people who have not played together and are just learning. So that may get better. But I don't care how much that gets better. If we keep making brain farts, you got to understand that you do not leave time on the clock for the other team to score. We have been through that so many times with Jason Garrett. He doesn't seem to get it. Is there anybody out there who can talk me off the ledge? Wrong. Last year we were 13-3. Okay. Yeah, and that's true. Dak could have. Well, he had the lane to go in. Yeah, he could have stopped on the 1 yard line and just sat there. Y'all suck. Oh, thank you, Dave. I can't disagree with you right now. We had 2 games that we should have won that we pissed away. Cowboys 60. Yeah, it is that bad that you're 14 years old and your dad offered you a beer after that one. Mark, Irving looks like he didn't even. Oh, well, David Irving, 2 sacks. Are you kidding me? David Irving looked fantastic. There's a lot of. Here's the sad part about this whole thing, guys. Dak looked fantastic. David Irving looked fantastic. You know, Tyrone Crawford looked pretty good. He got a sack in there. You had guys that played well. You know, Jordan Lewis looked pretty good. Jason Witten still catching the ball. You know, he has become Dak's security blanket. You finally saw Zeke Elliott rush for over 100 yards. We had lots of guys that looked good, but if we can't put it together with coaching, it doesn't matter. Last year, Garrett wasn't that good. It was our. Thank you, DJ Clown J. I said we won last year in spite of Jason Garrett, not because of Jason Garrett. You had Zeke Elliott running like crazy, and the offensive line was balling out. There wasn't a whole lot of coaching you had to do. Run the damn ball and do some play action with Dak Prescott. Okay? So, yeah. So, for him to be coach of the year, I'm still trying to understand what he did to be the coach of the year. Eagle cockroaches out. Well, yeah. Okay, Matt. Brian, I can't argue with you that we could be up 42-3 and still lose. I mean, we were up 26-3 against Green Bay in the past and lost. I mean, you know, and for Jason Garrett to say that, oh well, the defense couldn't stop him. Come on, man. I really, I'm just tired. I'm tired, boss. Sick and tired. You know what, Joe Boo? I'm gonna do it myself. I would love to talk to Jerry Jones right now. I would love to just sit down and just say, Jerry, come on, man. What's the real deal, man? How long are you gonna wait? Is Jason Garrett? Whoa. Wow. Wait a minute. Okay. Shout out to Lieutenant Mathers. Wow. Wow. He's an Eagle fan. Listen. Fly, Eagles, fly. On the road to victory. Fly, Eagles, fly. And I don't know the rest, but shout out to you, man. I appreciate that super chat, man. You guys are going to be the team to deal with this year, man. I thought that with the guys that you guys, yeah, Michael's over here, Eagles, I appreciate that. I really do. I'm just heartbroken, man. I keep looking at this and thinking we're wasting time, man. I have looked all season forward to, all off season forward to this, figuring that, okay, maybe we've changed our mojo. Maybe we're going to be getting it together this year. Maybe Jason Garrett's the right guy, but now I've just been brought down to earth and I've just been smacked down. But Lieutenant Mathers, man, I appreciate that, man. If I don't know if you live in Philly or where you're located, I would love to hook up with you and watch a game with you at some point. Maybe I want to go to Philadelphia to watch a game, and probably going to Philadelphia now as a Cowboy fan might be a little safer because they're not scared of us anymore. But I appreciate that so much. I said it'd be the Eagles and Cowboys. Well, Vern, I said the same thing. I said that the Giants. I said there's no way the Giants were going to be that as good as everybody thought they were. I thought that they were hot garbage. I no longer use dumpster fire since ESPN stole that from me. We'll see how long before they start stealing that one. I almost have to say that right now our coaching staff is hot garbage. We're going to go 9-7. Well, I tell you what, at this point right now, Cowboy Gamer, 9-7 would be great because we've got some tough games to play. And if we don't get our coaching together, our act together, there's no way in the world we're going to win it. No, Joe Boo is just knocked the F out. Sorry, he can't sit up. Hey, PX13, listen. What can I say? The Eagles, they're the team right now. Right now, they're 2 games ahead of us. They are actually playing like a well-coached team. They are adjusting to other teams. They are using their strengths and covering up their weaknesses. Things that maybe, our Dallas Cowboys should be doing. Because you can't tell me that the Eagles have better personnel than we do. You can't. Yet, their coaching staff finds a way to win. And Lieutenant Mathers, who's a diehard Eagle fan, Lord knows he just gave me a super chat that just blew my socks off. You know, Tommy Eagle, who's a moron who usually will be rubbing my nose in it, he even feels bad for us. So I have to at least give credit where credit is due that the Philadelphia Eagles right now are the team to beat in the NFC East. Flat out. And I don't know how you can dispute that. We don't have a fourth quarter game strategy. That's the problem. I think they just go out there and just make some shit up and see if it works. If it doesn't work, just blame somebody else. Chris, I agree. 35 points is unacceptable. But think about it, though. If we didn't leave any time on the clock, it would have only been 28 points. No, you're right. Breaking D, we still, the season's not over. We still have, what the hell was going on?
That's when he got, I guess when he got hurt or something.
Damn, that looked kind of like a gay love scene there. Okay, I'm sorry. There was Odell Beckham with a towel over his face and crying, and another guy wrapped. I was kind of look. Okay, because apparently that was before.
That's before he got hurt.
That's before he got hurt. So was you crying about Brandon Marshall getting hurt?
I think he may have.
Okay.
He got hurt. They saw him got hurt, and then fine as the other receiver got hurt.
Yeah. So he was crying. Okay.
I understand that.
Doesn't he know there's no crying in football? There's no crying in football.
Well, tell Manning that. Because he cries all the time when they lose.
Okay.
No, that's
Jerry Jones is talking about the flag. Really? I'm curious to see what Jerry Jones actually has to say about the game. That's why I've got NFL Network on game day to see any press conferences. I really want to hear what Jerry Jones has to say, our de facto head coach. Collins looks like Andy, it's hard to argue with you with that. You know, that Garrett and Jones are the Cowboys' worst enemies. Deveron H2, you're right as far as Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith is, hey, I'm amazed that he's out on the field. It's a great story and stuff, but he is not 100%. He's a liability right now. Yeah, see, man, and that's what I'm. That's my. You see, man, you hit my point exactly. That Tyron Smith. You don't know any of these players. You're literally one play away from having your career over with, and we don't know how long they were going to be able to keep Tyron Smith healthy. And all of a sudden, Tyron Smith goes, man, that's a big change on that offensive line. You don't know, somebody could have a traumatic injury and be done in football. You could lose Dak. You could lose Zeke. You don't know. That's why every year needs to be critical. This whole thing of people saying, "Oh, we'll give after 8 seasons." That's like Jason Garrett needs to go. Oh, we should give him one more year and see what he does. And if he doesn't do it that year, then then we'll go ahead and get somebody else. It's like you keep wasting year after year after year. Last year should have been a Super Bowl year. 2014 should have been a Super Bowl year. But yet here we are looking at mediocrity. Come on, man. I'm telling you, we look better and better every game, but yet, oh, that's great. Okay, so that's like getting a participation trophy. You guys looked really good. Yeah, but what did it get us? Not a whole lot.
Oh, yeah, it was something in the L.
Big Ben is beginning. See, and again, Big Ben. The Steelers, Big Ben looks way, way different than he did even just a year ago. Players get old overnight. You think that, oh, well, Dak Prescott's great right now, but you know what? He might not be great next year. I'm not saying that because I'm thinking it'll happen, but quarterbacks definitely get old over you. Eli Manning, how many times did he turn over the ball today? Eli Manning, I'm sorry, his career is pretty much done and over with. The Giants are on the cusp of basically tearing the whole thing apart and starting all over. All those free agents that they end up signing on the defense, they'll be gone next year. They cost too much damn money. Eli Manning does not have much time left. You have no offensive line. Your coach is a freaking idiot, so they're basically going to wipe the slate clean and start all over. And that ends up happening real quick. Because remember, they were just in the playoffs last year. And now you're talking about scrapping the whole team. Things change really quick in the NFL. That's why when you have opportunities, you cannot wait them. Players aren't going to call Jason Garrett. They're not going to do that. That's not going to happen. They're going to lose their job. No, that won't happen. And you don't want the players to. You don't want the inmates to run the asylum, so to speak. Okay. You want the owner to realize I need to do something different. You don't want to have a mutiny because you're going to have guys. It's like having two quarterbacks where half the locker room's up for this guy, half the locker room's for that guy, and in the end, it kills the whole team. You don't want it to be the players. You want Jerry Jones to wake up and say, you know what, this experiment is not working. My illegitimate son, because that's the only thing I can think of is Jerry stepped out, and that's his love child, and he's just trying to do the best for him without anybody knowing it. That's the only thing I can think of. And Gregory Wheeler, that's what I'm saying. When I listen to that press conference, he's talking about the defense couldn't hold him. Own up to your own stuff. Own up to the fact that we failed the team. Dennis, Joe Boo's just given up. Joe Boo is just like, I'm sorry, I'm just wasting my mojo right now on Jason Garrett. Thank you, John Henderson, for tuning in, and I appreciate all the love, man. Garrett's a vampire, can't look in the mirror. Okay. It's also amazing how I find that the last two teams have. Well, that's another thing, Alfred. That is another good point. That you're right, and I talked about that before. Big Ben had 5 interceptions. Wow, so I feel better, man. But yeah, it is kind of unfair that we played the Packers and the Rams both having extra rest. That didn't help us any. We should start either one of them. Hitchens had some good plays. He did have the face mask that hurt us and gave him a first down down there deep in our territory. But Hitchens, I think, is actually better than Durant. God. Wonderfuzz, it seems like every time we play Green Bay Packers, it's always the end of the game. I mean, think about it. Oh, God. And it's been that way since the frickin' Ice Bowl, man. I turn 52 on Tuesday. I have been here as long as the Super Bowls have been. I'm proud to say that, and I've seen a lot of things in my lifetime. I'm not old enough to remember the Ice Bowl, but I was here. I was born. And I can remember those are some of the first clips that I can remember actually seeing, where the Cowboys, because see, the Cowboys were known as the team that couldn't win the big one. We lost the Ice Bowl. We lost in Super Bowl V to the Colts. Great team, but they just can't win the big one. And I thought, because it was Craig Morton who was the quarterback, I thought that maybe, we changed to Roger Staubach. That was the change that brought them the Super Bowl. I thought that the change of Tony Romo to Dak Prescott was going to be history repeating itself. I've seen so many parallels with this team from the 90s team. We went to the playoffs in the early 90s, and the next year, we got Charles Haley, the war daddy, and that turned the team around. And that's where I kept in my mind. That was one of the reasons why I kept trying to push and say Calais Campbell. To me, that was the history that was going to help repeat itself. That guy, along with the guys that we had, would have made a hellacious pass rush that could have been the tide turning. We've got problems on our team because we ended up getting rid of our stiff cornerbacks from last year. We brought in a whole bunch of rookies that you're asking a lot for, who did not practice much in training camp because of hamstring injuries. That's a lot to ask for them. You're playing top quality teams, and we're going to be playing other top quality teams in Seattle. We're going to be playing Atlanta. We're going to be playing the Eagles a couple of times. We're going to be playing the Redskins. You're going to be playing good passing quarterbacks. I would say Eli Manning, but he's no longer a top quarterback anymore. So you've got these young guys that are having trial by fire. They're going to be okay down the road. You've had Hitchens get hurt, and then you got Sean Lee that's getting hurt, and then you're bringing in a guy who's coming back from being hurt, who's basically a rookie being your middle linebacker. You can't expect them to be all of a sudden the 85 Bears. But your coaches have to put them in a position to win, and I don't feel like that we are doing that. We're playing with the Tampa 2 old defense where we're not putting a lot of pressure on guys at the line of scrimmage. First half, first couple of drives, we were actually giving 5-yard chucks. We were actually up in their faces. And we were putting on pressure. We were frustrating Aaron Rodgers. We got away from that. I don't know why we got away from him, but we got away from that. Second half, they were able to start running the ball on us. And once they started running off the ball, they started chewing up the clock, getting our defense tired. You have to be able to adjust. And I just don't see our team being able to adjust anymore. We could not stop the run. We actually had not given up a 100-yard rusher in forever until today. Yeah, well, I agreed on DJ that, if you have the right players to play, the Tampa defense, but we don't have them. Kenny Gibson, you're right. They just don't adjust well. Well, it makes it hard to go to work, but you know what? Win, lose, or draw, I'm always here talking about my Cowboys. You can't be a fair weather fan. You've got to support your team, win, lose, or draw. And right now, our team needs our support more than ever. And we need to be vocal enough to Jerry Jones. We need Jerry Jones to understand how we feel. If we just turn it off and just say, F it, they're not going to understand the pain that we're going through, that how much we care about our team and how much it hurts when it loses. I know I feel bad. I literally feel like something died inside. It literally broke my heart. I felt so good in that first half, although in the back of my mind I still kept saying, damn it. This ain't over. We were here like this last week. I don't know what else to tell you guys. Well, we definitely go 3-3. I think we can beat the 49ers. And I think we can probably end up beating the Redskins, and all of a sudden we're 4-3. Tony, thank you very much. I agree with you. Garrett needs to go. We need a new direction. Who would I like to see? Albuquerque. Okay. Well, thank you, Albuquerque, in the house of Tony. I'm old school. I got used to coaches getting in your face, and I like a guy that gets in your face. Like I said, I actually like John Gruden and that little skull of his. He may not want to coach against his brother. Then again, he may want to coach against his brother in the division play against him twice a year. I don't know. But I like a coach that's like that. A Jim Harbaugh, but I don't think he's going to leave Michigan. Collier, I don't know if Collier would come out of retirement. But you need a totally different direction and a totally different attitude. You know, I like swagger. I like guys that and I don't mean by trash talking, but I like guys that come in fired up, with an attitude that this is my house, I'm going to kick your ass. And I believe that players take on the attitude of the coach. If you're a laid back coach, you're kind of a laid back player. If you're a coach that's in your face, you're going to have guys that are in your face. And that's what I think we need. We need to be intimidators. You can't tell me that Tyron Smith, when he's ready to play, or Travis Frederick, or Zach Martin, aren't intimidating type of guys that are going to knock your block off. You can't tell me that it's Marcus Lawrence or David Irving. David Irving, he showed me a lot coming back. He's a beast. You get that guy with an attitude like a Charles Haley. Think about that. You need to start putting the fear into other people. We're too cutesy. And Jason Garrett thinks he's so much smarter than everybody else with his Princeton degree and everything else. He always seems like he outsmarts himself more than anybody else. Now, again, I have hope that maybe we get a new coach and we go through with a great draft next year. Hey, you got the main parts that you need, but you need somebody that can put it together. You can have great ingredients to make a soup, but if you don't know how to mix it all up the right way, it can turn out to be shit soup. Oh, wait. To have this happen 2 weeks in a row, it's just like, God. It's awful. Princeton disavowed. Wow, after that game, yeah. Defense is killing us, and our coach is killing us. 9-7, I pray. Okay. Yeah, we'll see. Jordan Lewis, he was arguing with people because he's like, y'all missing assignments and everything else. Step up, man up. Let's get out here and do this stuff, man. Show some damn emotion. Hey, listen, man. Don't feel depressed about this. We're going to be all right because at the end of the day, as much as I love my Cowboys, nobody died. I still have a job. I still have a wonderful wife. I've got my great kids, my son right here. I got the dogs. We got football. We will make it. It hurts. I know. Believe me, it hurts. I want to drink this whole freaking bottle, but I got to go to work tomorrow. I'd like to put a hole in the wall, do that Odell Beckham job after they lost to Green Bay. But it ain't going to solve anything. All we can do is hope for the best. Keep pounding away at it. Let Jerry Jones know that this is unacceptable. That it's time to make a change. That Jason Garrett is not the one. And Jason, don't feel bad about it. There's not a lot of coaches out there that are the ones. You went from being I don't even think an offensive coordinator to being an offensive coordinator for the Cowboys and then head coach. You haven't been trained to do this. You've done an admirable job. But it's time to let somebody else try it. The merciful thing would be is to say, you know what? I'm out of here. But I don't think that'll happen. Matt, I'm with you. I enjoyed watching Lewis. I enjoyed watching David Irving. Here's what was great about David Irving. To see him standing in the middle, because the guy is so big. He's so tall. He looks like a monster out there. And you could see how fired up he was. Now, he probably ran out of gas because he hasn't been practicing in the last 4 weeks of being out on suspension. And he's still working on getting that win. But you can see that's a guy who cared about playing. You can see Dak Prescott. Dak, I bet you right now, there's nobody more pissed off than Dak Prescott right now. Dak is a winner. Dak will give, I can guarantee he would give his right arm for a victory. Dak is going to do everything he can in his power. Zeke Elliott showed me something because Zeke Elliott was basically rushing 2 yards a carry. But he sucked it up and started finally hitting some holes and acting like it meant something. Tyron Smith. He's got bulging discs in his back. He was out there giving it his all. You can't tell me that Cole Beasley wasn't out there giving it his all. You can't tell me that Jason Witten, as old as he is and as slow as he is not giving his all, getting, 8 catches, 9 catches. Dez, with the exception of the alligator arms in the end zone, that Dez isn't out there giving it to him. But the coaching staff is letting those guys down. That's all I can tell you guys. I guess maybe, I've been ranting for over an hour and 15 minutes. I still got like a ton of you guys on here. I don't know if I should go or not, but it's hard. Michael, do you have anything to add? How do you feel? See, here's where it's bad for me.
You need to get rid of the coach.
I
don't like Jason Garrett to the point that I don't even play with him on Madden.
That's right.
That's true.
He won't even play with him on Madden. But here's the sad thing. Here's what's difficult for me. Michael was born in 89?
No.
1990. I'm so old I can't remember my years anymore. When the Cowboys were winning Super Bowls, he was too young to remember. He's a grown man and has yet to see the Dallas Cowboys relevant. Now, I've been blessed to have seen all of their Super Bowls. I have seen every time they've held up a Lombardi trophy. I saw Roger Staubach. I saw Tony Dorsett. I saw the Doomsday Defense. I saw these people playing live. I'm good. I've seen them hold up the trophy. But a lot of you guys out here, because I do have some of you guys that are younger, that are under 20, under 30 years old, 25, 20. You guys have never been around when the Dallas Cowboys were the best team in the NFL. And that's where it hurts for me because I so want to be there when the Cowboys win the Super Bowl so he can see it for himself for that first time. But right now, God, that hurts. Chris, it's not going to happen. You see Jason Garrett literally 30 minutes, an hour after the game, and he's up in there. He still looks like he's happy to have a job.
Brandon.
And basically saying, well, you want to stop Aaron Rodgers, but, we couldn't make any plays on him. Oh, what?
Oh, yeah, with the smile.
I might say, Jason Garrett, I'm with you if you heard. We had the Green Bay Packers where we want them, and we let them off the hook. We screwed up. I'd say, okay. Then I got a coach. I'd be happy but playoffs? Are you kidding me? Playoffs? We're just trying to win a freaking game here. I'd be happy. I would be happy to see some emotion instead of, well, We would have liked to have made a few stops there, but, we didn't make the plays on them when we need to, and Aaron Rodgers is a great... What the hell is that? You're not mad? It's not eating you inside like it's eating me? You're not upset? Your eyes aren't even red? You didn't shed a tear? Do you even care? My God, man. You are not the one. You are not the one. Oh, God. Thank you for that one, Michael. Oh, jeez. That was my dream scenario. Is if Jimmy Johnson came back. Could you imagine if Jerry Jones announced that he's hiring Jimmy Johnson? The internet would frickin' break. It would be bigger than Kim Kardashian in a trash bag. I'm sorry. That would be so freaking... Jerry Jones likes the limelight. You want the limelight? Put the band back together. Bring Jimmy Johnson back. Oh, this place would go crazy, man. Thank you for the super chat there, buddy. King of Com, we actually had the volume up listening to him, and he basically threw the defense under the bus. Didn't mention that we left too much time on the clock. He just went on saying we just couldn't make a stop when we needed to. You wouldn't have needed to if you hadn't run out the clock. You know what, King of Com? I don't think it can be any bigger of a disaster than what we have with Jason Garrett. I'm 12 and I've only seen the Cowboys irrelevant. Oh boy! But sooner or later, good times going to be coming. Gaming and whatever you are. I'm sorry, you're 12 years old. Let me watch my language. Forgive me. What do I think of Jordan Lewis? I think Jordan Lewis actually is playing really well. Jordan Lewis is passionate. I love that. And he is going to be a baller, but he needs some more time, just like the rest of them. You want to say he let our players down? I want him to say that I let the team down. That's what I'd like him to say. Sam 547. Let's face it. Our schedule is bad, and it doesn't help us that we're playing two teams back to back that got extra rest. Oh, okay. I have not seen Jerry Jones's press conference. If Jerry Jones did say that we left too much time, that goes back to coaching. And that's where I wonder if all of a sudden Jerry Jones is thinking, maybe Jason Garrett isn't the one. I'm beginning to think that Jerry Jones is beginning to start thinking that, and he's watching real closely. So we'll have to see that one. Yeah, Dez is dropping too many passes. I agree with you on that one. Jordan Lewis was arguing with Byron Jones. Joshua, I'm glad you have hope for the season. I'm going to keep hoping. I'm going to hope for the best, and I'm going to expect the worst. That way you're never disappointed. And that's the way we have to start looking at this right now. My son's over here brushing the dog's teeth. In fact, I think you can actually see it on the Joe Boo cam right there. Yeah. Yeah, he is a soft coach. Yeah, we'll have lots of trolls. Believe me, I know that. Yeah, Steve Jackson. God, those were good days. Good old days in the 90s when the Dallas Cowboys were the team to beat. Oh, wow. TJ Watt is out for the year? I miss that. Well, okay. Let me take a deep breath. Let me relax. Let me meditate for a quick second. And let me steal Joe Boo's room. He won't mind. He's knocked out. All right. Let me have a calmer head right now. I've gotten it out of my system. Jason Garrett sucks. I've accepted that. Jason Garrett lost the game for us. I accept that. But as hard as it's going to be for the next 2 weeks, we have a chance. We have a chance to get healthy. Sean Lee has been off the last 2 weeks, resting that hamstring. It's getting better. He's got 2 more weeks for it to heal. That's a good thing. That's a great thing. Awuzie, and I know I butchered his name, and I know somebody's going to tell me to pronounce it the right way, but understand, I'm old. I'm dyslexic. I drink too much. And I mispronounce names. If it bothers you, I understand. Please listen to another Cowboy channel. But Awuzie will be able to practice 2 weeks, get some more time under his belt. Jordan Lewis will be able to work out more. That's a good thing. David Irvin can get some more practice under his belt and get that pass rush going a little bit better too. Those are all good things. Tyron Smith can get 2 weeks of rest. And then we have a team coming up that we can beat in the 49ers. That's a good thing. So maybe we go ahead, we rest up for 2 weeks. We're not playing a team on, extra rest this time. We're playing the 49ers. We go through, we win that game, and all of a sudden we're 3-3. Okay, that's not so bad. Zeke Elliott showed up today. That's a good thing. Dak Prescott, I hope, silenced all the people that's saying that he's in a sophomore slump by throwing 3 touchdown passes and running for another one. That's a good thing. Maybe if we then come to Washington, and maybe we end up beating the Redskins. Okay, all of a sudden, you're 4-3. It's not so bad. And maybe by then we'll start figuring out how to play better on defense because we'll start having some people playing together and get ready for a run down 6. So maybe it's not over. Maybe there'll be enough negativity about coaching that Jason Garrett will reevaluate himself and his staff. And maybe I'm just trying to hope, or it might be the rum talking. I don't know. Maybe it's both. That maybe he'll get a sense of urgency and start reading the writing on the wall that we changed Tony Romo. We got rid of him. We got rid of a lot of the old players and changed all that. We now have a new director of scouting who's been bringing in players. The only thing left to change is the owner. Jerry ain't selling out because his whole family is supported by the team. I'm next. And maybe I am actually playing for my job. And maybe I need to try and do a little bit better of a job or I'm not going to be here anymore. And I'm not so sure that I'm going to be able to get a Tony Romo gig because I'm emotionalist. I don't think anybody really wants to hear what I have to say. So maybe I better coach a little better and try a little bit out of the box. I thought today was the day. Did you guys get sucked in like I did? Did you get sucked in when we went for it on 4th and 1? To me, that was like the gut check. He wasn't going to take the safe way. We're going to go ahead and go all in. And that's when I said, okay, I like that. I like that.
Look at the real test next week.
And damn if we didn't go back to what we had before.
He wouldn't have the first test next week.
Well, T.J. Watt out for the year. Guys, that's the thing about football. I always say you're one play away. And what's driving me crazy is NFL Network is playing the replays of the Dallas Cowboy game over and over again. So out of the side of my eye, I keep seeing it over and over and over again, and it still hurts. Sandman, it's Jerry's not going to make a change.
Not this week.
Although he did with Wade, because they went off to the playoffs the year before and started out real bad, and then all of a sudden he made a change to Jason Garrett. But I don't think that's going to happen because here we go, Jason Garrett again. Hold it.
Point of emphasis for us coming into this ball game. Obviously, was trying to keep him in the pocket as much as we could. At different times in this ball game, we were able to do that. But on that particular play, he got out, and that gave them an opportunity to shoot for the end zone. Got them out of the mentality of simply kicking a field goal, and got them in that mentality of trying to score a touchdown to win the game.
Ravens and Raiders season ticket holder standing.
Yeah. He's throwing the defense on the last drive under the bus as opposed to coaching of leaving the time on the clock.
That's what I very well from Brad Carl.
Yeah.
Don't dare call it.
Yeah, that is one thing I did lose in that. We did end up getting, for once, actually a call go our way because Des Bryant alligator armed that thing, and that wasn't unnecessary roughness on that. And gave us a couple extra downs on that. Well, Bob, wait, how old do you think? You say Jimmy Johnson's the answer. He's 70 years plus old. How old do you think Rod Martinelli is? He's talking about dinosaurs. You have to be a dinosaur to be talking about dinosaurs. F you twice. Cowboys again. Start off strong again, but can't finish. They don't make adjustments at halftime. So that's the problem. Reevaluate. Who said reevaluate? No, I'm sorry. Listen, you've had 7 years. You've had a couple of teams that have been number one seeds and have failed in the playoffs. Other coaches do more with less than this guy. I'm sorry. Time should be up. Oh, I agree that Garrett. But, Chris, here's the thing that I can understand until 2015. 2015 should have showed Jerry all he needed to know. You're telling me that you couldn't coach your backup quarterbacks to win more than one game out of 11? One game? Come on, man. You had Brandon Wheaton in your system for a year and a half. And you got a pass because Tony Romo got hurt to go ahead and be that pathetic? Now, don't get me wrong. It was actually good because it helped us to get Zeke Elliott. But dude should have been fired after that. Oh, you know what? I can't even pronounce that one. MUSIXLVR. If Garrett is still the coach in 2020, I may have to rethink my commitment to the Dallas Cowboys because that would literally be insanity. Unless they somehow turn it around and win the Super Bowl this year, if Jason Garrett is still a coach then somebody needs to commit Jerry Jones. I just joined. King Gurley. I would love John Gruden. I would love Sean Payton because Sean Payton's worn out his time in New Orleans. I'd love a Collier. I'd love a Jim Harbaugh. I would love a coach that gets in guys' faces. Right now, hell, I'd take Joe Boo over Jason Garrett. I want to change just for change's sake because I'm sick of seeing Jason Garrett on the sidelines. I have said it over and over again. To me, Jason Garrett's a nice guy you wouldn't mind having a beer with or, talking some philosophy with, but I don't think he's the answer coach. To me, he's like a little league coach with his clapping and his smile on the sidelines. It's got to the point where it's, kids, here's your participation trophy. Don't worry, Johnny. We'll get him next time. Great job. That's all you get out of Jason Garrett. No emotion. No accountability. When shit happens, he goes the other way. He doesn't accept responsibility. Bill Parcells made himself the lightning rod. Phil Simms could screw up, but it was Bill Parcells who would take the heat. He would get the press there to protect his people. Jason Garrett throws his guys under the bus on regulars to save his own ass. That's not a coach. That's not a guy that looks out for the team. That's a guy that's looking out for his own interest. I don't like that. I don't like it when a guy screws up and he doesn't have anything to say to them. Wade Walker, you know what? Jerry Jones has changed a lot over the last few years. Jerry Jones is still Jerry. Jerry does a whole lot of talking. But what's happened is Stephen Jones really runs the team. Stephen Jones really runs the team. Okay? Because think about this. It used to be we would do crazy things like, let's get Roy Williams from the Lions and give up two number one picks. That'll work. Let's go out and get a TO. That'll work. Miles Austin had a great year. Let's pay him a whole bunch of money. Oh, Marion Barber, man, he's a beast. He's knocking people out. Let's give him a $50 million contract. But that changed when they decided to have Will McKay be the head of scouting. And in my mind, he is kind of the de facto general manager. That was a big change. Jerry Jones puts an input. He wanted Johnny Manziel. He had a hard-on to get Johnny Manziel. But it was his son, Steven, that was like, no, we're taking that draft card from you. You're not getting that. So Jerry has lost some of that control of the team. Jerry still is over here talking like Jerry, and you can listen to Jerry, and they actually use that as a diversion because Jerry's over here telling you all kinds of stuff and everybody's following along, but the team is really over here running the organization. And that's why we've been able to draft great talent. That's why we've been having good picks and stuff. It hasn't been the freewheeling, let's trade up and get Morris Claiborne because everybody says that's the best guy in the defense on the draft. And give up a 1 and a 2 for it. So Jerry realized, I got to do better. If I want to get Tony Romo a ring, we got to do better than what we're doing, son. And recognize that. And I think right now, Jerry Jones is recognizing that I have screwed up. Over the last 20 plus years, I've been putting idiots out here, puppets. I've been able to run the team the way I wanted to, be an influence on the sideline and stuff. I could be out here talking about the Cowboys, who's going to play and all that, but I ain't got no ring. I haven't been down there on the field holding up that Super Bowl trophy for a long time. And I'm looking at Jason Garrett, a guy I've been watching for 7 years now. Jimmy Johnson, he got me that ring in a couple of years. Even Barry Switzer, it took him 2 years, but he got me a ring there. Maybe I need to look at something different here. Jason Garrett, he's been around here over 7 years now. And I ain't seen no ring. And then you see other guys come in, a rookie coach come into your house and kick your ass. You've seen Aaron Rodgers the last 3 years beat you 3 times on the final drive, and you can point to coaching on each one of them. Jerry Jones right now has to be thinking and pissed the hell off. And I think that he might be thinking, you know what? We done it this way. We done it my way. Maybe we need to change up the way we're doing it. Or maybe Stephen Jones is sitting there thinking that, you know what? We need to do things different, Dad. I'm going to be really watching closely to what Jerry Jones has to say. Because you need to start reading between the lines. I haven't seen anything from Jerry yet. I've been on here since the end of the game, so I haven't had a chance to. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and probably get off of here so that way I can start scanning because we've been here for, going on 2 hours. But it's going to be interesting to see exactly what what Jerry says. Because if Jerry said what somebody told me on here that we left a lot of time on the clock, he's thinking about Jason Garrett screwed that up. He sat there last week and was talking about how good Wade did in out coaching us. That's 2 weeks in a row. 2 games at home in a row that you just lost and had your lunch eaten to. Andrew, I don't know about me being the new coach. Okay, I'm not that X and O's guy and stuff. I can just, it's easy to be a Monday morning quarterback and stuff out there. It's a different story to be a head coach. I know I can point out the things that Jason Garrett has done wrong, and that's easy to do from the outside looking in. Oh, you're right, Kennedy. Oh, could you imagine Sean Payton running our offense with what he did with Drew Brees, having Dak Prescott? Oh, that'd be incredible. I like that. Stephen Jones should put a VR headset on Jerry, make him think Garrett's still there. That's a good one. Um, hmm. Um, Teddy, um, Teddy, you. This is what you get for not spending a damn dime on the defense. Pathetic. Well, here's the thing. The Giants spent a boatload of money last year on the defense. It worked pretty good last year, but what did it do for them this year? You look at a lot of teams that spend a lot of money and they don't really necessarily pan out too well. I mean, you have players that are there. Unfortunately, we had more injuries than anything else. I think scheme is part of it too. Oh yeah, oh Vernon. Okay, I like hearing that. That Jerry was saying that we shouldn't have left any time on the clock. Yeah, have to agree with him on that one. $50 million a year to Bill Belichick. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Oh well, believe me, MUS slur, I don't know what the heck that is. You can best believe that there's actually going to be there's going to be a clearing of house on a lot of these high contracts at the end of the year. We're going to have all kinds of money under the cap next year. I would pour Jobu another shot, but the problem is I probably steal it from him because at this point, Jobu's not helping too much. Lane Kiffin, are you kidding me? Come on, man. We need to see some pay cuts. Yeah. Jason Garrett's doing a better job cheerleading than our cheerleaders are. That's a good one. Somebody had said that Jimmy Johnson would, he's old and everything else. But I got to tell you what, Jimmy Johnson knows how to motivate people, and Jimmy Johnson knows how to play with guys that can play. Okay, so I would have no problem having him back out there. Yeah, Daniel, you're right. This is definitely, I've never gone much more than an hour. This has definitely been a long, long show. I'm amazed that I still have so many of you guys here, but I figure we all need to vent tonight, and it's been bad. I'm going to get out of here in 5 more minutes and just be mad, I guess. We have about 10 wide receiver and no defensive guys, yeah. Make a shirt for Jason Garrett, cheerleading shirts, yeah. I know I wouldn't spend any money for a shirt with Jason Garrett on it. Vern, I'm with you on that one. If we had run the ball and burned some more time on the clock, we could have, and we still had a timeout left, so we could, or 2 timeouts left, so we could have used some stop to make our plays to try and get the touchdown. You don't leave that kind of time on the clock. It's the same mistake over and over again. Yeah, you're right. And today was one of the first times that I've seen actually we got up close to the receivers and actually gave them that 5-yard chuck. When we played Denver and we played the Rams last week, we were giving them basically a 10-yard cushion. And I think Rod Marnelli was worried about, our rookie quarterbacks getting burned deep. And would rather, excuse me, would rather give up a 5-10 yard out than go through and get burned deep. Donovan, you just made a hell of a point there, because when you looked at how Zeke was running the first half, that Dak literally has been kind of carrying the team, and a lot of people will still say that, oh, we lost because Dak's not that good. I beg to differ. I mean, come on, guys. He's already got 11 touchdown passes in 5 games. Come on, and 2 rushing touchdowns. That's 13 touchdowns of the season. See you later, Donald Duck. I'm not ready to give up on Taco just yet. You're right about that, Breaking D. It may be that every time that Joe Buck and Troy Aikman have it, it's because it's a big game. We just don't show up for big games. Green Dan, what are we going to do? We're going to still love our Dallas Cowboys, and we're going to hope for the best and expect the worst, and then we'll never be disappointed. Hopefully, Jerry Jones will wake up and decide that Jason Garrett is not the guy. Anthony Hilton coaching is bad. I have to agree with you 100%. Terrence Williams, you got to hold on to that ball. I agree. I know we were 4 points down, but see, here's the thing. The way the offense is turning up the ball, you had timeouts. You wanted to make sure that you scored and didn't leave any time on the clock, because you have Aaron Rodgers. You got to understand that. You've got to know that. Sean Lee will be back when we play the 49ers. Taco needs seasoning. Patty Cake Garrett. Okay. Well, guys, we've had almost 2 hours here to vent. I'm tired. I'm depressed. May even be a little bit tipsy. We'll get through this. Better days are ahead. Don't lose the faith. I know it's going to be hard tomorrow going to work because we lost. Hell, I don't know what else to say, guys. It is what it is. Things will get better because they damn sure can't get much worse. I'm Mark Holmes. Joe Boo, well, he's just done. We will see you guys soon. Thank you for letting me vent. I'm Mark Holmes, Cowboy Joe Boo. Thank you for watching Joe Boo Sports.